everyone. There's my microphone. This is Fifi Starchild, and first of all I would like to thank my first 2 subscribers. You really motivated me this morning. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be seen, isn't it? And to be acknowledged and understood. So thanks very much. I've got some things that I want to talk about today, and the first thing is that because I've been moving so swiftly into the higher dimensions of existence, I've had to absolutely quit doing the busking in the street because it was affecting my energy so much detrimentally that I just can't do it anymore. I'm still going to keep singing on my music channel, but it's going to be in the studio. It's not going to be outside anymore. Too many variables for me now. So I'm going to put everything into this, and I've got some things that I want to talk about today. I've got lots of things to talk about today, actually. Probably have to make a couple of videos. The first thing that I want to talk about is how being in presence has helped me so much. And if anybody is struggling with any kind of addiction, then this is the answer to that, because any addiction or any craving, from what I've been able to work out, from what our mother, father, higher consciousness has been able to show me, is that if you're craving something outside of yourself, it's because your soul is craving presence. Your presence, the presence of your consciousness, is required. And that is why with our conditioning, we automatically think that it's something that we want outside of ourselves. But actually it's not something that we want outside of ourselves. It's something that we want inside of ourselves. It's the way that it works. It's like a mirror, like a hall of mirrors. Like a reflection bounces off another reflection, bounces off another reflection outside of us. But also it's an inverted reflection. And so if we're craving something outside of ourselves, then it's something inside of ourselves. And from what I've been able to work out and what I've been able to gather, it's our presence, the presence of our consciousness that is being craved rather than anything from outside of ourselves, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I've just done a fast last night. I stopped eating food at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I didn't have anything till like this cup of coffee. I had a couple of bulletproof coffees, but you can have them on a fast. It's now 9 o'clock in the morning, so I can have a proper cup of coffee even though it's decaf, because I've quit the coffee. That was a struggle and all. That'll be a story for another day. So presence. So presence. Now, presence is your awareness being inside of you. So you're not watching the telly, you're not thinking, you're just in peace in your mind, and you're acknowledging that you're a living being in a living field, of consciousness, and you being present in that. So just try it next time you have a really bad craving for something. Just try that. Try the presence thing, and even if it just puts the craving off for 10 minutes, you know, it's 10 more minutes you've had with yourself, you know, and you've been feeding your soul instead of the body. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. So, the last few days, I've been having a lot of interaction with the energy of Lilith. Everything's a level of consciousness. Everything is like a spark of consciousness, and so depending on where your level of consciousness is, you're able to kind of interact with other archetypal energies. And the ones that have been on me, as you know, Barbello, she's on me all the time. I'm with her, I spend time with her. I've discovered recently that, oh, I've just realised this isn't plugged in, hang on. I knew it, didn't I? I was like, oh, there's my microphone. No, but it wasn't plugged in, was it? But that's okay. I've got my eyelashes on. I've just been faffing at me dressing table today. This is what I do when I go out singing, and that's never going to change. That's not going to stop. This is me. This is who I am. So I hope you caught all of that before anyway. I'm sure it'll be fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's natural anyway. It's all natural. I am sitting on my grass, but I'm sitting on a tarp because it's been raining a lot. It's been raining. So what about my sweet peas and my tomatoes behind me and my beautiful grass that I'm obviously sitting on? Is if you watch the first video, this is what's transpired from there, so that's kind of cool. Right, Lilith. Right. Now, I'm not saying I've got all the answers, right? I'm certainly not, right? Because this is my journey. I'm on my journey, but I'm sharing my journey with you. And some of the things that I've learned will help you, and some of the things that you've learned will help me, right? That's how I see it. But the Lilith energy, right? So I've been like digging deep because I'm a deep diver, you know. I like to deep dive into my consciousness, and I've been like kind of meditating with her, and I've been thinking, well, if in the Christian Bible, in the Christian story, in the Christian creation story, which we all know, you know, like everything's just a little bit of the truth, isn't it? But in there, it says that Adam and Eve were created, but no, sorry, Adam was created first, and then Eve was created from his rib or something, right? And like she was like proper subservient to him, and that apparently in the story. But what I don't understand, because Lilith was Adam's first wife, right? And then something happened, and he started like trying to lord it over her, and she told him where to go. And so now she's been demonized, like, because the powers that wish they were, that no longer are, they said that she's a demon, and that she's not in the creation story because she wouldn't do as she's told, you see. Now, I think that Lilith is a kind of an aspect of Barbello, because she's the divine, they're the divine feminine that the powers that be have kept out of our consciousness all this time, because it's the aspect of us that is divine and knows its worth and won't see. The birds are agreeing, right? They're the aspect of us that is awakening now, is my point. They're the aspect, they're the divine feminine. Like, the divine feminine is soft, she's gentle, she's beautiful, she's creative, she's happy, she's in the flow, she's free, you know? But it's that freedom has been demonized. But if it was a demonic energy, then we would know about her, because she'd make her presence known, and she's doing it now naturally. So, and gently, really, you know. It's only because if people have been ignoring that energy all this time that they're going to start getting it. That's all it is. But if you've been kind of, you know, trying to be a good person and caring about your environment and loving people and everything, it's not going to be so bad for you, this shift. But you're going to have to make some new choices, let's put it that way. Because once you start realising that you're actually creating your own reality all the time, and have been doing all along, but once you start taking responsibility for that, that's when you can start creating your own reality that you actually want. And that's the new earth being born from within us, you see. Isn't that beautiful? So, inner peace. All right, hang on a minute, because I was talking about Babylon. Right, I just check and make sure, because I've got them beside the word illusion. So I guess that 5D is breaking out of the 3D illusion. You know, 3D probably doesn't even exist in the natural world. Like, 3D probably is the matrix, like, because the 3D, like, when you think about it, right, just having to move around a little bit. When you think about it in the 3D, like, this is how the 3D works, right? You're born, you live, you reproduce, you work. Everything's linear, isn't it? Step by step by step by step, but none of it's actually real, because if you think about it, even the family structures are built around control. Because, like, even Adam was like that to Lilith, like, do as I say. And she was like, no. You know, like, that's family structure, that, you know. And, like, I realised that it's all built on blackmail. And, like, you know, you're taught, no, you're not allowed to do that or you'll get in trouble. But that's 3D, that's how it works. And you've got to go out and get a job, you've got to work for somebody else, you've got to make money for them, they're in charge. That's 3D, right? But 5D is you get your inner world right on the right frequency. You make yourself be in peace and going with the energetic flow of things, and, you know, just relaxing into it. And, you know, you're more than the physical. You're a soul. And we don't even really know what a soul is, because we don't remember when we come here. But, like, our soul is, I think it's like a drop of the sun. You know, the sun in the sky. And, like, it's a little light, and we're kind of a part of it, and it's a part of us, kind of thing. As one aspect of it, anyway. That makes us children of Ra. That makes us children of the solar god. But he went a bit upset. He's got a daughter. She's been ignored as well. Nabet Heka, right? Now, I don't quite know this story yet really that much, but, you know, I mean, I don't go too much into the stories, do I really? You know, I go into them as much as I need to kind of make my own connection with them, and then they kind of like make themselves known to me and kind of guide me into information that they want me to know, rather than, you know, going into their history. But from what I can gather, Nabet Heka is the daughter of Ra, the sun god. But again, she wouldn't do as she was told. So you can understand why I resonate with these three feminine archetypes. Nabet Heka, Barbello and Lilith. I think they're all kind of one thing. And do you know what they did with Nabet Heka? What Ra did? He fractured her into 3 other goddesses to make her more manageable. And so I guess as well it was kind of to get them out of the collective consciousness. I guess when they're out of the collective consciousness, they kind of cease to exist in this realm, kind of a thing, you know. But so he made Nabet Heka into Bastet, Sekhmet, and another one of the Egyptian goddesses, because obviously Ra was in Egypt, so she was in Egypt, so, you know, and that's what happened apparently. So he fractured her, and I think that's like a mythical symbolism for what happens to us in childhood, because we get fractured. Like, if you had like a really happy, you know, nice, gentle childhood, then you would have got fractured when you came out of that safe environment, when you're out in the world and realised it's actually not what you thought it was. You know, that would be a fracturing. So your psyche would fracture, and then your ego kind of creates an aspect of you that will be able to survive in that environment, because the true you kind of would take a step back a bit, because it would be afraid. So that's a fracture. And so they fractured Nabet Heka, and we get fractured as well. So it's a nice little mythical symbolism there, you know, because I mean the myths, they do help us understand this reality when we, you know, go into them. Just keeping an eye on that. 1818 it is. Because I think about half an hour is well long enough for these kind of videos, you know. And I like to break it up a little bit. So, right, so I'm going to tick that. Oh, I've got my little notebook down here. I'm going to tick that and tick that and tick that. Because then when I'm making my video, I'm going to put what I've touched on in there as well, so that it's easy for people to find. So in the fractured psyche, yeah, so really tapping into the 5D, from what I've been able to work out and from what I've been shown, is that if you can consider yourself the moment that you were born, right, that first breath that you take is what anchors you into this realm. So that's your starting point really to work with. And if you can consider the energetic blueprint that you came in with at that stage, you know, before you were jabbed with any needles or anything like that, that first breath is all your answers are there, because that you were then is the you that you need to be to move into the 5D, but in your body. That sounds wild when you say it, but it's true. Like when babies, they have that magic about them, and that magic is the innocence and the energetic blueprint of what you're here to do is there. That's where it is. So you can actually find meditations to meditate yourself to that point, you know. It's to do with like your first breath and all that kind of stuff. So have a look for something like that. That's a good meditation for you. Because like even in the Christian Bible again, and I know I do, you know, speak about that a lot because I do know that story really quite well. But there are other stories that I know as well. But this is the most relevant, is that Yeshua did say to be like a child. To enter the kingdom, you must be like a child, you know. And I think that's what it means, because we've been conditioned and programmed into being somebody. You see, this is the thing. I've always known all my life that don't let anybody know what you're really thinking. That's been me. Because whenever I did, they said I was crazy. But really, like, now I realise that they were just projecting their crazy onto me. Because I'm not crazy at all. I love nature and I'm in my true nature. But you see, people are terrified of reaching into their soul because they're terrified of what they'll find. And that's just because that's just the direct, this is dualistic environment, and they're only terrified because it's what they really want. It's actually what they really want. And I'm going to end this on this point, right? Because this is a lovely point. Is that there's a saying, right? And it says, where your greatest fear lies is where your greatest power lies. Throat chakra clear in there. Where your greatest fear lies is where your greatest power lies. So if you're afraid of looking within, believe me, that's what you actually want. It's what we all actually want. We are all, most of us, I know not all of us are organic. I realise that now. But the organic ones, what we want is to reconnect with our true nature, because it's what we're here to do. And when we come in, we forget, hey, cheeky pigeon, this is private. This is private. Go on. Go on. It's so cheeky, he's watching me from up there. It's not really private, it's going on the public. So where your greatest fear lies is where your greatest power lies. So the best thing that you can do for yourself if you're afraid of something is to do it. And it'll break down your barriers. And I'm not saying I've been afraid to speak my truth, but I have had a problem speaking my truth. A real problem speaking my truth. And I've been doing all of the spiritual work to create the environment so that I can, and that's what I'm doing. So here we are. And yeah, so just to clarify, reality is a mirror. You're creating it. Get your frequency right. Go within. Connect with your soul. And create your reality from the inside out. If you do want to donate to the channel, you can find the information. It'll be around somewhere. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. It is really nerve-wracking stopping busking because like that's been my income, and like I'm like, ugh. But I have it on a highest authority that I will be provided for. So I'm not worrying about anything at all. And also, another point, just before I go, I was promised today that the success of this channel is going to be the evidence that the energies that I'm working with are real. So there we go. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Thanks. Have a lovely day. Bye.